And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We got to get there. We have to get there. So please hit subscribe, watch, comment. Please keep the comments coming and share with family and friends. The faster we do it, the bigger the community. So let me ask each of you a question. Have you ever heard of somebody by the name of Nick Adams? Nick Adams? You know, the alpha male influencer who is now nominated to be the ambassador of Malaysia? Well, we shouldn't be surprised that Trump is actually tapping a toxic influencer for important positions, like an ambassador. But you know what we can be? We can be embarrassed. It's blatantly disrespectful to Malaysia to appoint a manosphere content creator as our ambassador. My co-host Ben Meiselas and I, we broke this down on Political Beatdown, and I want to show you our comments. Play the clip.
There was a big meeting that took place today. Lots of cable news is not really covering it, and it happened in Malaysia. And it happened between Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, and it happened with Rubio and Sergei Lavrov. Lavrov is the foreign minister of Russia. Big meeting, right, in Malaysia. So I was trying to think about what else is happening in Malaysia over the past 24 hours. And the Trump regime just named their new ambassador to Malaysia. Now, this is where I'll ask our viewers and listeners just to whatever political views you have, just set it aside. We all agree that we would at least want people with basic level of competence at representing the country. I understand that ambassadors are sometimes viewed as being a little bit cozy, people who pay a lot of money, to be close, but there's still generally a modicum of competency when we're talking about ambassadors. We certainly should all agree, it should be undisputed, we don't want an ambassador who makes a mockery of the United States. And we probably want ambassadors who, I would think, are not like this. I'll just say. So Nick Adams became the ambassador to Malaysia. And if you're wondering who Nick Adams is, you'll see right here the official nomination sent to the Senate. Nicholas Adams of Florida to be ambassador of Malaysia. Again, this is on the day where we all agree a meeting between the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and the Foreign Minister of Russia. Big freaking deal. So who's the ambassador to Malaysia while this is going on? Now, I'll give you my theory. I think this is Donald Trump engaging in a humiliation ritual to Putin, but you can give me your theory. Nick Adams. Who's Nick Adams? He was the guy who posted so bizarrely on social media. I truly thought he was playing the long game in like some Borat routine. And he was going to come out, 10 years later and say, look how easy it was for me to get involved in MAGA, because here were the types of posts that he would make. I go to Hooters. I eat rare steaks. I lift extremely heavy weights. I'm pursued by copious amounts of women. I'm wildly successful. I have the physique of a Greek god. I have an IQ over 180. I'm extremely charismatic. They hate this. Or this. When a woman is cooking dinner for me, this is how we split the responsibilities. She cooks, I eat, she cleans, I head to Hooters, that is it. Or alpha male challenge. Go to your local grocery store and purchase the largest bag of M&Ms you can find. Destroy the bag of M&Ms you purchase and do not let one pass your lips. Take a photo of your crushed woke M&Ms and post it on social. Make sure you tag Mars. Or this. Being a straight white alpha male is the toughest job in America. And then he used to post videos like this one. Here, show this video back from April 3rd, 2023. Here, play this clip.
This is a solemn day in alpha male history. I am here in Dallas, outside the Anheuser-Busch facility, and I cannot believe the betrayal that we are currently witnessing. This is Judas-level betrayal of the alpha male community, and just a week before.
So you had that, and then Cohen, here's what he posted this morning after the announcement that he would become the ambassador to Malaysia. And again, he was appointed ambassador the moment in Malaysia you have one of the most significant meetings, right, in Donald Trump's term right now. Here, play this clip.
It is nothing short of a lifetime's honour to take the President's goodwill and spread it to the great people of Malaysia. It is, Mr. President, my honour to represent you and serve our nation before King Ibrahim Iskandar and his people. To His Majesty, I look forward to working with your government to strengthen ties between our friendly peoples.
Cohen.
Is that, first of all, it's got to pass, of course, Senate confirmation, which most of us expect that the feckless fools that are the GOP will confirm this maniac, all right, as to an ambassadorship. There's absolutely nothing that any human being on this planet can say that would justify, under any other administration other than this current one, that somebody like Nick Adams would be up for consideration. This is what we're dealing with.
But then you look at who's running FEMA. It's not Nick Adams, right? But it's a guy named David Richardson, who, by the way, has anybody heard from David Richardson? Where is the head of FEMA right now? You notice that's not being really talked about. Where is David Richardson, the head of FEMA? He hasn't made a public appearance. He hasn't made a statement. He hasn't done anything since the flash floods last week in Texas.
Well, he didn't make a statement, but Christine Nome started to cite him in terms of that the head of FEMA has advised her that everything was done, and here's a word that you have not heard in a long time, perfectly. Everything went perfect based upon the circumstance.
Now, I understand that Christy Nome, the portfolio of FEMA, for reasons that lots of people don't think it should be here, but the portfolio of FEMA is under the Department of Homeland Security, which, if you actually want to talk about efficiencies, FEMA should be a standalone department, but that's another conversation. But almost in all cases, every case, the head of FEMA right now would be front and center. You know, all of those press conferences where we're seeing the mayor of Kerrville say, I don't like those questions that you're asking me. You're talking like first graders to me. I'm not going to answer. You're in Kerrville now. You play by my rules. You understand what you do in Kerrville right here? You don't ask me questions like that. Oh, we don't look backwards. Or, Governor Abbott, what's Governor Abbott saying? Governor Abbott's like, in Texas, we like football.
Yeah, we into football.
We like the football in Texas. And if you like the football, like we like the football in Texas.
When you got to play, and that play isn't going right, then what you want to do is you correct the play. But when the corrected play is given, then the correct play is the play that you play when you're playing football. I mean, if that wasn't word vomit added to stupidity, the problem is when you screw up, there is something that many of us understand. It's a term called accountability. They don't want to accept any accountability at all. And I want to talk about, for a quick second, Ben, if I can, join me for a second in the screen, because you and Midas Touch Network were good enough on your digital platform to put out something that really upset me terribly. And I wrote a Substack on it the other day. And it was about how they're drowning their own people. And what bothered me the most, and many people don't know this, but one of the things that, for example, the mayor of Kerrville and even Governor Abbott refused to talk about, which is the fact that the state of Texas has what's called a rainy day fund. This is money that they sock aside from sales tax and from income tax based in the state. And they put it to the side for a rainy day fund. When there's money that's needed in order to do something to protect the citizens of Texas, they put this money away. Now, we all know that the federal government despite the stupidity of Kristi Noem and the word vomit that comes out of her mouth when she says that this should now be turned over to the states. And the states are saying, we can't handle it because we're not dealing with this on a regular basis like the federal government does. Maybe this happens once in 5 years. Maybe it's once in 10 years. Maybe it's once in a lifetime. So how do we now set ourselves up for this type of event year after year if you're not expecting it, and God willing, it should never happen again? But that's not the part that pisses me off. The insult to injury, it's more than just the deceased. It's more than just the children. It's more than just the elderly and just the citizens of Texas who perished and those that are still missing. It's that this fucking fund, and I'm so angry about it, it's literally kept me up. I'm up at 2:30 in the morning. I can't get the vision of the children and the people clinging to trees and to roofs. This state has a fund sitting there, and this isn't a metaphor, the rainy day fund. It is actual cash to the tune of $30 billion. So when you turn around and say to me that we couldn't get the federal government to give us money for sirens and infrastructure and mapping and so on, shame on you. What is that $30 billion? That's actual cash sitting in a bank, earning interest for the state. So for what reason? For what reason? Because somebody's friend is running the account? Could you imagine? $30 billion that's sitting in a bank account instead of being used when you're having issues with the federal government. They could have staffed the people from NOAA or the National Weather Service for the state of Texas with that $30 billion and not even touched the interest. Shame on them.
To me, it's every single level.
So I want to thank you for putting out that article. It meant a lot to me personally.
Look, it's
you
at
have
every
a great
level.
digital platform, and I meant to call you yesterday and say thank you. It really upset me. This entire matter has really gotten to me.
We got a lot of grief a little bit early on, even because we were one of the first, if not the first, to start saying it is okay to both show compassion for the people who have lost their lives, and to send thoughts and prayers to everybody there and let them know how sad you feel. And at the same time, be asking questions in real time. How did this happen? How is it that the death toll's over 120 with 100 plus still missing? And the death toll's likely going to get significantly higher. How did this happen? And we were out there right away when everyone's saying, oh, it's too soon. It's too soon. And I'm saying, not if you're telling the truth. If you're lying, then it's too soon. But if you're telling the truth, you're telling the truth about what's happening. And now we're seeing a lot of reporting that's coming out that's vindicating why we did it, when we did it. And again, we were getting a lot of crap for doing it then.
Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.